And welcome back, this is Baller Scuba with more Zork 3, the Dungeon Master. When we last left off, we finished off the puzzle. We're still in the Royal Puzzle entrance, so we can head north to get out of there. I have done quite a few moves, 175 in fact. Very little score to show for it, but we are back in the museum entrance. This time we're actually going to go into the museum itself, which lies to the north, if you remember correctly. Here we can find the Technology Museum. This is a large hall which hosted the technological exhibits of the Great Underground Empire. A door to the south is open. Directly in front of you is a large golden machine which has a seat with a console in front. On the console is a single button and a dial connected to a 3-digit display which reads 948. The machine is surprisingly shiny and shows few signs of age. A strange gray machine, shaped somewhat like a clothes dryer, is on one side of the room. On the other side of the hall is a powerful-looking black machine, a tight tangle of wires, pipes, and motors. A plaque is mounted near the door. The writing is faded, however, and cannot be made out clearly. The two machines seem to be in bad shape, rusting in many spots. If you didn't think things were weird before, we're probably going to make things weird now. We're going to push the golden machine out of here. We need to head south back to the museum entrance. With some effort, you push the machine into the room with you. From here, we need to open the stone door, which if you remember was to the east. And then we need to push the golden machine, well, through the open stone door. This will take us to the jewel room. You're in a high ceiling chamber in the middle of which sits a tall round steel cage, which is securely locked. In the middle of the cage is a pedestal on which sit the crown jewels of the Great Underground Empire, a scepter, a jeweled knife, and a golden ring. A small bronze plaque, now tarnished, is on the cage. With some effort, you push the machine into the room with you. Now, you have to do this quite specifically. Sit on the golden machine's seat. If you just say sit in the golden machine or sit on the golden machine, it does not work. You have to specify the seat. You are now in the golden machine. Turn the dial to 776. Add 1,000 to that, and that's an important American year. And press the button. You experience a brief period of disorientation. When your vision returns, your surroundings appear to have changed. From outside the door, you hear the sounds of guards talking. You notice that everything you were holding is gone. You notice that the golden machine has disappeared. But I can take the golden ring, and I'm now wearing the golden ring. But the sounds of those guards talking is going to force me to wait around a little bit here. I said a little bit. Damn it, game. There we go. Time passes. You hear from outside the door guards marching away, their voices fading. After a few moments, a booming crash signals the close of what must be a tremendous door. Then there is silence. What we want to do is now open the stone door and head west, back to the museum entrance. This appears to be an unfinished entranceway to the Royal Museum. There are doors to the east and north, and a blind stairway to the south. A heavy iron door to the west is closed and locked. Occasionally when you do this, a guard may come back and kill you, just so you know, but luckily that did not happen for me. I'm over 200 moves now. This is a game in which I don't get rewarded as much as I would like. But what I do want to do is open the wooden door, which turns out to be the one to the north, and then we can head north. Back to the Technology Museum. You're in a large, unfinished room, probably intended to be a part of the Royal Museum. A strange gray machine, shaped somewhat like a clothes dryer, is on one side of the room. On the other side of the hall is a powerful-looking black machine, a tight tangle of wires, pipes, and motors. A plaque is mounted near the door. The gray machine, it turns out, is a Farbaz magic pressurizer, used in the coal mines of the Empire. The black machine is a Farbaz magic room spinner. I'm not a big fan of the black machine. The golden machine is referred to as a temporizer. If you haven't figured it out by now, it's a time machine. All are non-working models donated by the Farbaz Co. president, John D. Flathead. Directly in front of you is a large golden machine which has a seat with a console in front. On the console is a single button and a dial connected to a 3-digit display which reads 776. The machine is surprisingly shiny and shows few signs of age. What I do want to do from here is put the ring under the seat. The ring is concealed underneath the seat. Then sit on seat. We're now in the gold machine. Fantastic. Now we want to turn the dial back to 948, which is where we came from, and then press the button. You experience a brief period of disorientation. When your vision returns, your surroundings appear somewhat altered. Sure. Get up. Look under the seat. Hey, look, there's a ring. You find the ring under the seat and put it on your finger. Fantastic. All right, we'll open the wooden door again, which, if you remember, is to the south from here. And then we'll just head through it back to the museum entrance. Then we'll open the stone door and head east. And there's all my stuff. I'm just going to get all of that. I need all of that. Bronze plaque. What a concept. You are now wearing the golden amulet. I have taken a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm now wearing the hood and the cloak. Now I can head west a couple times to get out of here. North a couple times to make it back to the Crystal Grotto. West a couple times. Hey, look, Grue Repellent. To get back to the Creepy Crawl. And then north, and we have made it back to the junction. From here, we want to head east and then northeast, and we have made it to a new room finally. The engravings room. You're in a room with passages heading southwest and southeast. The north wall is ornately carved, filled with strange runes and writings in an unfamiliar language. Well, I think... yeah, I missed out on something. All right. Head southwest and then northeast. Seriously? We're going to keep doing this. There we go. An old and wizened man is huddled asleep in the corner. He is snoring loudly. From his appearance, he is weak and frail. I doubt that will be the ultimate case, but you do have to get this guy to show up. Wake the man. The old man is roused to consciousness. He peers at you through eyes which appear much younger and stronger than his frail body and waits as if expecting something to happen. Give bread to the man. He looks up at you and takes the whey bread from you. Slowly he eats the bread and pauses when he is finished. He starts to speak. Perhaps what you seek is through there. He points at the carved wall to the north, where you now notice the bare outline of a secret door. When you turn back to the old man, you notice that he is gone. He has just left us here. All right. Head north. Hey. You said there was a secret door there. Hold on. Right, the door's not open. Let's open it. That will actually allow us through. The massive stone door opens noiselessly. Beyond the once secret door are dark, forbidding stairs that lead down to a passage below. Dim light, as from torches, can be seen in the passage. All right, we'll head north into the button room. You are standing at the southern end of a long, dimly lit hall. To the south, stairs ascend into darkness. To the north, the corridor is illuminated by torches set high in the walls, out of reach. On one wall is a red button. We're going to ignore that button for now and head north again to the beam room. You're in the middle of a long north-south corridor whose walls are polished stone. A narrow red beam of light crosses the room at the north end, inches above the floor. The corridor continues north and south. That sounds like a laser to me. So what we're going to do is put the staff in the beam. The beam is now interrupted by my wooden staff lying on the floor. All right, we'll head south now, and we can actually push the button here, click snap, and head back north. apparently. Head back north. And there is a wooden staff here. I'm going to need that staff back, actually. All right, we'll head north now that we have been able to bypass the beam. And we've made it to the hallway. This is a part of the long hallway. The east and west walls are dressed stone. In the center of the hall is a shallow stone channel. In the center of the room, the channel widens into a large hole around which is engraved a compass rose. The hallway continues to the south. A large mirror fills the north side of the hallway. The mirror is mounted on a panel, which has been opened outward. Believe it or not, we're actually going to head north into the mirror. We've made inside the mirror. You are inside a rectangular box of wood whose structure is rather complicated. 4 sides and the roof are filled in, and the floor is open. As you face the side opposite the entrance, 2 short sides of carved and polished wood are to your left and right. The left panel is mahogany, the right pine. The wall you face is red on its left half and black on its right. On the entrance side, the wall is white opposite the red part of the wall it faces and yellow opposite the black section. The painted walls are at least twice the length of the unpainted ones. The ceiling is painted blue. In the floor is a stone channel about 6 inches wide and a foot deep. The channel is oriented in a north-south direction. In the exact center of the room, the channel widens into a circular depression perhaps 2 feet wide. Incised in the stone around this area is a compass rose. Running from one short wall to the other at about waist height is a wooden bar, carefully carved and drilled. This bar is pierced in 2 places. The first hole is in the center of the bar and thus the center of the room. The second is at the left end of the room as you face opposite the entrance. Through each hole runs a wooden pole. The pole at the left end of the bar is short, extending about a foot above the bar, and ends in a hand grip. The pole has been dropped into a hole carved in the stone floor. The long pole at the center of the bar extends from the ceiling through the bar to the circular area in the stone channel. This bottom end of the pole has a T-bar a bit less than 2 feet long attached to it, and on the T-bar is carved an arrow. The arrow and T-bar are pointing west. Did you get a full-on picture of that, or are you just confused? Because it's a little confusing to me. So what we want to do is raise the short pole. If I could spell, that would probably help. Raise the short pole. Pole is now slightly above the floor. Push the red panel. The structure rotates clockwise. The arrow on the compass now indicates northwest. The mirror quietly swings shut. All right, we'll push the red panel again. The structure rotates clockwise. The arrow on the compass rose now indicates north. Pushing the red panel has no effect. This time we'll lower the short pole. We kind of need to do this because I didn't get something else earlier. The pole is lowered into the channel. Now we can push the mahogany panel. Structure slides north and stops over another compass rose. Well, we're just going to do that again. And one more time. Probably should just do the G command. Okay, 3 times. That will do it. Raise the short pole. Push the white panel. This time we're going to do it quite a few. The structure rotates counterclockwise. The arrow on the compass now indicates northwest. All right, we'll do that. Now it's going west. Push it again. Now it's going southwest. And one more time. And now it is pointed south. Now we're going to push the pine panel. The pine wall swings open. And now we leave. That's just the easiest way to get that done. As you leave, the door swings shut, and we have made it to the dungeon entrance. Yeah, the dungeon. You are in a north-south hallway which ends to the north at a large wooden door. The south side of the room is divided by a wooden wall into small hallways to the southeast and southwest. The wooden door has a barred panel in it about head height. The door itself is closed. Now, I should have everything that I am going to need, so we'll just knock on the door. Once you have all 7 items, that's all you need to do. All right. The knock reverberates along the hall. For a time, it seems there will be no answer. Then you hear someone unlatching the small wooden panel. Through the bars of the great door, the wrinkled face of an old man appears. After a moment, he starts to smile broadly. He disappears for an instant, and the massive door opens without a sound. The old man motions, and you feel yourself drawn towards him. "I am the master of the dungeon," he booms. "I have been watching you closely during your journey through the great underground empire." "Yes," he says, as if recalling some almost forgotten time. "We have met before, although I may not appear as I did then." You look closely into his deeply lined face and see the faces of the old man by the secret door, your friend at the cliff, and the hooded figure. You have shown kindness to the old man and compassion toward the hooded one. I have seen you display patience in the puzzle and trust at the cliff. You have demonstrated strength, ingenuity, and valor. However, one final test awaits you. Now, command me as you will and complete your quest. And we're in the narrow corridor. You're in a narrow north-south corridor. At the south end is a door, and at the north end is an east-west corridor. The door is closed. The dungeon master is quietly leaning on his staff here. Now, we want to head north from here to, ironically, the south corridor. You're in an east-west corridor, which turns north at its eastern and western ends. The walls are made of the finest marble. An additional passage leads south at the center of the corridor. The dungeon master follows you. Hooray. We'll head east from here to the east corridor. This is a hall with polished marble walls. It widens slightly as it turns west at its northern and southern ends. And the dungeon master keeps on following me. He'll do that. He'll just keep on going. All right, head north to the north corridor. This is a wide east-west corridor, which opens onto a northern parapet at its center. You can see flames and smoke as you peer towards the parapet. The corridor turns south at either end, and in the center of the south wall is a heavy wooden door with a small window barred with iron. The door is closed. The dungeon master follows you. North one more time. Yeah, he'll do that. If he doesn't, just tell him to. Just go, "Dungeon master, follow me," and he will. You are standing behind a stone retaining wall which rims a large parapet overlooking a fiery pit. It is difficult to see through the smoke and flame which fills the pit, but it seems to be more or less bottomless. The pit itself is circular, about 200 feet in diameter, and is fashioned of roughly hewn stone. The flames generate considerable heat, so it is rather uncomfortable standing here. There is an object here which looks like a sundial. On it are an indicator arrow, and, in the center, a large button. On the face of the dial are numbers 1 through 8. The indicator points to the number 1. To the south, across a narrow corridor, is a prison cell. Dungeon master follows you. That is good. Otherwise, I would have to tell him to follow me. All right. I want to turn the dial to 4 and press the button. The button presses with a slight click and pops back. Now we can head south, back to the north corridor, open the cell door, and go south again. Now we're in the prison cell. This is not necessarily how I pictured this journey going. You are in a featureless prison cell. You can see an east-west corridor outside the open wooden door in front of you. Your view also takes in the parapet and behind a large fiery pit. Behind you, to the south, is a bronze door which is closed. You notice that the dungeon master doesn't follow you. Probably because I walked into a prison cell. Maybe that's just me. Now, what I actually want to do is tell the Dungeon Master to go north. That's how you talk to him. Very well. I am at the parapet. So at this point, any number other than 4 will do, but I'm going to do it to 8. It'll only let me go as high as 8. It's not as good as 11, to be honest with you. Dungeon Master, turn dial to 8. If you wish, he replies. Dungeon Master, press the button. If you wish, he replies. You're in a bare prison cell. Its wooden door is securely fastened, and you can see only flames and smoke through its small window. On the south wall is a bronze door which seems to be closed. You notice that the cell door is now closed. Once again, not how I pictured this journey going. Now, what I do want to do is open the bronze door. Bronze door is locked. Oh, right. Unlock bronze door with the strange key. There we go. I'm like, did I screw this up? Please tell me I didn't screw it up. I didn't. The key seems to mold itself to the shape of the lock. With a mere twist of your hand, the massive bolt gives way. Now I can open the bronze door. On the other side of the bronze door is a narrow passage, which opens out into a larger area. Head south. And we have done it. The Treasury of Zork. This is a large room, richly appointed in a style that bespeaks exquisite taste. To judge from its contents, it is the ultimate storehouse of the wealth of the great underground empire. There are chests here containing precious jewels, mountains of Zorkmids, rare paintings, ancient statuary, and beguiling curios. On one wall is an annotated map of the empire, showing the locations of various troves of treasure and of several superior scenic views. On a desk at the far end of the room may be found stock certificates representing a controlling interest in Furbazco International, the multinational conglomerate and parent company of the Furbaz Magic Boat Company, etc. As you gleefully examine your newfound riches, the Dungeon Master materializes beside you and says, "Now that you have solved all the mysteries of the dungeon, it is time for you to assume your rightly earned place in the scheme of things. Long have I waited for one capable of releasing me from my burden." He taps you lightly on the head with his staff, mumbling a few well-chosen spells, and you feel yourself changing, growing older. Where did I go? And more stooped. For a moment, there are 2 identical mages standing among the treasure. Then your counterpart dissolves into a mist and disappears, a sardonic grin on his face. For a moment you are relieved, safe in the knowledge that you have at last completed your quest in Zork. You begin to feel the vast powers and lore at your command and thirst for an opportunity to use them. Your potential is 7 of a possible 7. In 271 moves. Why they have it so that you can only get 7 points, I'm not sure, but we have done it. We have beat the Zork trilogy. And that is going to do it for this part of Zork 3. That is it for the game. That is it for the original Zork trilogy. Let me know if you guys did enjoy it. I hope you did. I have been Baller Scuba, apparently the master of the dungeon. Hope you guys have enjoyed this part. Hope you laughed. Hope you learned. Hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.